740, Big 550, KTRS. Kathy Helbig was here just last week. Real estate expert from the Kathy Helbig Group. Good morning, Kathy Helbig.
Good morning.
She was joined us at Nestle Purina.
Yes, she did. Frequently asked questions, Kathy Helbig. What do you got?
Well, a lot of times people stress themselves out because they're worried about when everything is supposed to happen when you're buying and selling a house. So, for instance, a lot of times they don't know what a typical closing date might be, so how long that would take. So we're going to go through kind of part of the contract. I know we won't get through all of it today,
Right.
but in the beginning, when you first put your house on the market, you can expect typically a 45-day to possibly 60-day closing time period. Every once in a while, we'll get a 30-day push for somebody. But most of the time...
Which means the minute you have a contract,
The minute you have a
45 to
contract.
60 days.
Right. So
Right.
45 is the average, I would say, at this
Okay.
point. Used to be closer to 30. Then with some lending changes, we kind of pushed back to this
Okay.
45-day average. So that's pretty normal. Once you go under contract, then is the inspection time frame. So people have 10 days, that's the norm, to do any and all inspections that you want on this house. Then once that's done and that those inspections are turned into the seller, we have another 10-day period where everybody gets to negotiate who's going to fix what. If we don't come to an agreement by that second 10-day period, the contract dies, the buyer gets his money back. Okay, so those are those type of time frames. We also have the mortgage time frame. What is normal to go get a mortgage? What is normal to get an appraisal? That's typically running about 30 days for a loan commitment. So yes, you are taking a contract on your house if it's financed contingent on for about 30 days, not knowing for sure if your buyer is going to come up with their financing. But that's a typical time frame. That's why it's really important that you know who they're working with, that you have pre-approval letters up front before you accept a contract, and it's a reputable lender in town that typically doesn't just issue
Right.
paper,
So
pre-approvals.
once you get the contract says, take this off the market. It's on hold. It's on layaway for 45 to 60 days until I get everything else lined up. more or
Right. So
less.
typically your longest time frame is usually that loan commitment time frame. So that's about 30-ish days, and then you can breathe easy. The part that's the most nerve-wracking for people in the beginning is that first 10-day period of inspections, because there is 3 parts to the inspection period. So you do your inspections, and then at that point in time, the buyer has to make a decision, and they have 3 choices. You can accept the house as is after you've been made aware of any defects that it has, and then the contingencies resolved and everybody moves forward. That rarely happens. Usually the buyer asks for
Right.
something. So then that's the option number 2. You ask for these repairs to be made, and then you have that second day period, that 10-day period that kicks in. So you have to negotiate those things. Or the nerve-wracking one is the third option. Buyer can terminate the contract, no questions asked. There doesn't have to be anything wrong with that house. They can simply have buyer's remorse. Your neighbor's house came up on the market after they bought this one. They like it better. They decided to get a divorce in the middle of buying a house. Whatever it is,
Can
that
the-
10-day period can be the trigger for a buyer to back out.
Can the seller say after a contract is in, the appraisal comes in, the buyer says, hey, you know what, you need to fix the roof and the basement and that squeaky door. Can the seller say, nope, I'm
Yep.
out?
Seller can say no, but he's got to wait that whole 10-day period unless the buyer agrees in
to
a
it.
shorter time frame
Gotcha.
to say, all right, let's mutually agree to exit this contract. And sometimes that's where people play games with each other.
Right.
And will drag it out to the last minute.
Stare down each other and walk
Exactly.
away, but not really walk away.
Exactly.
Get to the door and then hold the doorknob and say, I'm leaving.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
I've had a girlfriend do that to me
Yeah.
once or twice. All
So
right.
we can pick up the next ones next week. We have more time to go over them.
Kathy Helbig with the Kathy Helbig Group for all of your home buying needs. KathyHelbigGroup.com, 314-276-SOLD. She's the best in the business, buying or selling. She knows everything that's on the market and everything that is going to be on the market. That's important, too. KathyHelbigGroup.com. Thanks for coming in.
And I got to say hey to my 11-year-old. Hi, Elena.
Hi, Elena.
Hi, Elena.
743.